Hey guys, it is November 5th, Wednesday, comic day. So let's just get started, and I'm going to leap right in with a big one. SpiderVerse number one, or part one, SpiderVerse number one is next week, limited series. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man number 9, SpiderVerse part one, and we finally have all of the parts from Edge of Spider-Verse and the Superior Spider-Man continuation books all coming together in the main, Earth 616, but also we jump into a few other Earths too. We have the setup for the war, the kind of calm before the storm, which is the recruitment of Amazing Spider-Man 616. We get Silk branching off, becoming our own hero in New York. We get a look at a bunch of other spiders. We have Scarlet Spider, who's in this for a bit. Apparently, he's an incredibly important Spider-Man. He's the other. We have who else? Everyone's here. I mean, not everyone yet, but a lot of people. So many spiders, and that's not done. Oh yeah, we have Spider-Woman and her sidekick, Spider-Girl. Well, her Spider-Girl. We have the Spider-Man where he kept the power cosmic. We have Miles Morales. So we're getting the Ultimate Universe in this too. I mean, he's on the cover, but he's also on the inside. So that's coming together. And actually, the main part of this book ends on him being hunted, and then we get a little story of just the feast, Moreland's family, the what are they called? What are they called? What are they called? What are they called? The inheritors feasting, and then we get in the next page a really good look at a lot of the other alternate Spider-Man. As you can see over here, we get the first cartoon Spider-Man, where the theme song comes from. We got a Hulk Spider-Man. We got old-timey manga Spider-Man, or that might be the Tokusatsu, I think is the name of the TV show, the Spider-Man. Then we got Venom Spider-Man, Spidey Pool, Cowboy Spider-Man, that's the Power Cosmic. We got Ben Reilly in the original, I think, Scarlet Spider costume, manga Spider-Man. Who else we got? Dr. Ock Spider-Man over here. We got a Human Torch Spider-Man. We got a Rorschach Spider-Man. So lots of Spider-Man. I love it. We have a Kraven the Hunter Spider-Man on the edge of the page there. So, oh my gosh. It's like, it's finally happening, It's like the first 5 minutes of a movie you've been waiting 3 years to see, or whatever. So, really excited. Really good opening issue. And, I mean, it begins, for reals next week with Spider-Verse number 1. So, can't wait to pick that one up. Moving on to Action Comics number 36. Start of a new arc. This is post-Doomsday, or whatever the Doomsday Virus, whatever that arc was called that I skipped. So this is post that. This is post Future's End. So, completely kind of resetting the thing. Not resetting. I don't know. They just announced Convergence 2. I'm not really feeling it, but the single issue is very good. As you can tell from the cover, it's horror based. You have the kind of the zombie hand coming up from the ground. It's Superman, and this is basically it's a really cool book. It's zombies, but the main, I guess, concept is, and I don't think it's also Superman kept his beard from the Future's End books. I'm gonna get a good picture of it. Here it is. Here's like a good picture. Superman kept his beard. It's not really feeling it. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet. But I think it's neat changing up the design a teeny little bit. And but yeah. So the basic concept of this is Superman gets trapped in a horror movie. So we have the most powerful man alive going against something that it's kind of eldritch. It's kind of If you've seen any of the movies by what's his name? The guy who did The Thing and Mountains in the Mouth of Madness. I forget his name. I wrote a final on this guy last semester for a class, and I can't for the life of me remember his name right now. It's really embarrassing. But yeah, it's Superman versus Eldritch Horror. So it's, something that on numbers is the most powerful person on the planet versus something that can't be measured at all. It just has this kind of control over reality. And it goes through all the kind of horror elements where, he's trying to fly out of the town, he can't escape, there's zombies, there are evil hicks who appeared way earlier in the story, so you have that kind of Herald of the Apocalypse thing going on where, in all horror movies you have like that old guy who's like, like the 1800s, whatever, like, I smell a storm coming in, you guys better leave while it's still safe. So you have like all of the elements of a kind of classic horror movie come together, except Superman's in it too. But, he's not facing any better than anyone else really, because he's just as lost in it. So, pretty neat, I really enjoyed it. And now, continuing with the Superman, moving on to Superman Unchained, final issue. Got this neat, completely wraparound cover thing going on here. And I really liked it. I mean, I really liked all 9 issues of this. This is, like I said, the final one, the conclusion of Superman Unchained. Something I think I said about the last issue is that it felt like it could have ended there because you got rid of Wraith, this guy who's been kind of the big bad, and then it just seems like they're shoving Luthor in at the end. But what this is, a lot of people use the word deconstruction when they refer to something that plays with the tropes of a media object. So Watchmen is a deconstruction of the superhero genre. Cabin in the Woods is a deconstruction of the slasher movie horror genre, stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people would label this as a deconstruction because what it does is it picks apart all of the parts of a traditional Superman story and a traditional kind of like celebration of Superman story. So you have bits of what's it? The Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow in here. You have a kind of a panel recreation of the atomic bomb scene from The Dark Knight Rises. And so you have all these really memorable parts of Superman all coming together. But what this is, it's not a deconstruction of Superman, but a reconstruction, which is taking all the tropes, picking them apart, and putting them back together in order to reframe why this is important or why this is as it is. And so it's a real reconstruction of the Superman book. It goes from pretty much every important thing of Superman, from the doesn't kill, from the, at one point they slightly referenced the he's a guiding light thing from I forget what it is. I think it's All-Star Superman, I forget. They were using Man of Steel too, the thing Jor-El says to Cal, they will follow behind you and they will stumble, but they will join you in the sun. So they kind of reference that a little bit in one of the ending speeches, but it's Luthor giving it instead of Jor-El. So you can see where they're taking all these different bits of Superman and they're reframing them in order to kind of remind you what Superman is and who Superman is as a character and what he means both as a character in universe, and a story character in our universe. And they go through the whole moral thing. They go through the most powerful man alive thing, and they go through all that. His sacrifice. Basically, they take all these elements of the Superman story, the Superman mythos, and the Superman character, and reconstruct them. And it's just really good. If you want to read a really good Superman story, I'd pick this up in trade, probably, like the whole thing. Like it's going right up there along with those other books I mentioned, All-Star Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, Truth, Justice, and the American Way, Superman for All Seasons. It's like going up, I think, right up there with all those other kind of classic beloved Superman stories, Red Sun, that really kind of inform me about who this character is and why it's so important. Um, so yeah, no, totally picked this up. I really enjoyed it. Next, I want to talk a little about Gotham Academy #2. And the more I read this, the more I'm convinced it's not really for me. I'm not the target audience. I mean, it's clearly for kind of a more tween, teen reader. It's heavy shades of Harry Potter and other kind of like those boarding school, high school, long stories. But it's still not bad. I mean, it's not for me. I'm kind of getting that just feeling that I don't, it's not really my thing. But it's still very well written for, for the people who do enjoy that genre, that sort of style and story structure. And there are some parts of this book that I do enjoy. I'll probably give it, I don't know, until the end of the arc, see how I'm feeling after that about reading something that is not my usual cup of tea. Yeah, it's well written. Characters are fleshing out very nicely. There's a lot of background details that I find kind of neat. So this is the dorm, and you have the poster. It's not Byron. This is Lord Byron. And they're just like enough to like, even if this isn't your cup of tea. And it's taking the kind of the Gotham influence of it, the Batman influence, because it's set in Gotham. Obviously, Batman, the whole Gotham mythology is very important to it, and it's slowly weaving that in to this kind of teen school, boarding school drama in a way that's I'm enjoying. Not sure how long I'm gonna enjoy it. Just I mean, is that not my usual genre, but for now it's good, and it's not my favorite book in the world, but certainly not my least. Moving on to Grayson, issue 4, which is a book I'm continuing to enjoy. Just hasn't let me down yet. I mean, only 4 issues, but we've been through, and it's not really arc-based, so, it's not like I have to wait until 6 issues in to decide if this ended up good. So yeah, no, I'm really liking it so far. A lot more than I thought I would, which is a pleasant surprise. Again, you have the Dick Grayson character, I'm quite familiar with, who I really enjoy, and just putting him in this new setting without diluting who he is. He's still Dick Grayson through and through, even though he's not really allowed to be. So it's an interesting sort of thing there. This book is kind of a breather. So last issue you had kind of a heavy emotional thing with the guy with the gun for eyes. You had the Future's End issue, which was still one of my favorite single issues this year. So this is kind of a breather. Just Dick, of course, is hiding out at a all-girls school that trains for the super spy organization that he's currently working for. And so this involves some of the girls finding out that he's on campus and wanting to manti raid him, which is like panty raid, but he's a guy and the girl's doing it. So basically, it's them chasing him around the campus, and you got some flashes to him talking to Batman. The chief of Spiral is aware that someone is sending out encrypted messages, so he's suspicious. You have Helena Bertinelli kind of investigating what these things are. And at the end, they throw you for a loop. It's a nice kind of thought this was happening, and then it's something else that happened. But it's set up very well. It's not like a surprise. It's like, oh, this is how they're playing these cards, which is very neat. And so this is just a very fun issue, kind of a breather, but not a letdown, not like a calm. It's exciting. It's a little comedy in the heart of it, whatever. I don't know, but fun book. Lots of shirtless Dick Grayson, which is it's nice. Can't complain about that. My one complaint is that they do have characters who speak with an accent, and I know that because it's written down, and it just seems it comes off a little too strong. You have a British or Scottish character who just, it's not unbearable, but it's a little annoying. And again, there's only so many ways to imply that a character has an accent in a silent medium like comic books, but still, yeah, if it makes it hard to read, if I'm reading words twice because I don't get what they're trying to say, I don't know. Anywho. And those characters all are wearing masks. These are the girls. They're all wearing masks, so it's hard to tell which one is which anyway. So it's like, oh, this is the word balloon. Suddenly there's an accented one. Whatever. Anyway, I still enjoyed this book. So pick up Grayson. It's very good book if you've still had your reservations. 4 issues in, so far not a single bad one. Well, 5 issues including features end. Whatever. I also want to mention Batman Eternal this week. This was another week where just everything kind of happens, like another kind of crescendo, I guess, is the term people use for this sort of thing. So last issue, of course, we had kind of the aftermath of the asylum falling in and imploding on itself, and for this we have kind of how all the characters are dealing with that. So while you have Batman jumped in the hole at the end of the last issue, he climbs back out to fight some of the escaping supervillains. The main character in this book, as you can tell from the cover, not Bane, Alfred. And oh my gosh, by the end of this book, everybody should love Alfred by now. Alfred is the second, top 3 best character in the Batman mythology. And this book is like just a whole load of reasons to like fall in love with Alfred all over again. He is amazing. He is so good because like everyone underestimates him a little, you know? Like it was like, oh, he's just, you know, this is the butler. He's kind of up there in age, but he is so awesome. It's amazing. Like by the end of this issue, you're just like, oh my god, Alfred is like the best character, and he really is so good. So if you love Alfred, pick up this book because you will get a lot of really good Alfred. We also have things coming to not a peak, but a high point with Batman and Hush. Hush has revealed himself. Batman's on the chase. We don't know if he's going to get there in time. Spoilers also involved now with that. And yeah, that's about it. Really good stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed this issue just because I really like Alfred, and this was Alfred being a badass. But even, you know, just a high point in Batman Eternal so far. Like one of the high points, you have the issue where Spoiler like really debuted with her on the motorcycle and that whole chase. You have this book, and like yeah, just one of those like really memorable parts of Batman Eternal so far. And I only picked up 2 more books today, so you know I'm only less than 20 minutes in. Might as well give them a quick sort of thing. Detective Comics number 36, end of a 2-part story. I feel like it could have been squeezed into one single issue, and if that were the case, if it were just one book, I would recommend it. It's a very nice short story. That it's 2, that you have to buy 2 different books, kind of makes it harder to recommend. It's not extraordinary. There's like a few really good moments in this one. Just not so much action based, just you know fun moments that make you go, oh, that was neat. And but like you know it's nothing you buy just for a 2-issue story. It's good if you're already reading detective. You know it's not a bad book to pick up. But yeah, it's just one of those books. If it were 1 issue, easily recommended. That it's 2 that you're buying those 2 issues. Harder to do because it's kind of a side story. Nothing really that important happens. Nothing that big happens. It's just kind of enjoyable. So there's that. And then we have Future's End, issue 27. I did that right? Yes, 27. I wasn't even reading. 27. And you have things approaching a crescendo. So you have like, you know, the bum, bum, bum. We're not at the bum, bum. Yeah, we're just like at that bum, like the last sort of thing before another crescendo hits. I don't know why that was the song I chose to illustrate crescendo. Just so yeah, we have Green Arrow storming Cadmus. That begins here. We have Lois, as you can see, skydiving. She's trying to find Green Arrow, giving that another go after some help by Tim Drake. And then the biggest part of this issue, or the part that people remember, you know, that people will remember, the part that they kind of introduced at the very last second, is of course Batman Beyond meeting the current Batman. So Bruce meeting Terry before he officially knows Terry. So that's, you know, everyone's waiting for Batman. Everyone is always waiting for Batman and stuff like this. So he finally showed up. he's not disappointing. So there we go. And that is everything I picked up this week. Next week, I'll be back with some more books that I pick up and hopefully have something to say, something to talk about that is just And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week if you feel like it. Remember, comments, stuff, recommendations for books I should read, all very welcome. So once again, thanks for watching.